Hello. Welcome to the rabbit hole.
What?
Me and David here are on remote location with Scufflemoss and our new friend, new to this world friend.
What?
Feels like old friends, even though he's not been here before in this place we're at.
No, he's
known as life to some.
So we're here at Caretaker's house.
Yes.
Yeah,
we're not at our usual setup. We decided to get out of the house. I had to tie up David and bring him here.
Did you put him on the roof of the car?
No, but he did fight me, kicking and screaming.
He fought you?
He just, not physically, he just fought me every step of the way. He was like, I've just got a lot of anxiety.
It's okay to get out every once in a while, David.
Yeah, I know logically that's
you know
how
what?
it works.
I'm not trying to shame David. I'm just,
Shame.
as a friend, it's like, you know, when you get, like, when you're cooped up so long and you forget what it's like to go out and do stuff, sometimes you need a push and motivation from friends to go out and do things. And we all need that sometimes.
That's true. Anxiety is a big thing that affects a lot of people, myself included.
Yeah.
Like, just going out can sometimes be a task, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you had to put David on the top of the car, it's something. It took some effort to come out here. So thank you, David, for
thanks
coming
for being
out.
here, man.
Yeah, no problem. Like once I meet you guys are pretty chill.
And
I'm not that worried about being here. Like it's a pretty cool place to be, but it's just I tend to overthink a lot of things. So
I knew you had a
Welcome to
good
the outside
time.
world.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Feels good to me. It's got a nice little breeze. It's got a little cat over here, keeps peeking.
I hope the cricket, whatever that is, can pick up because that's very ambient.
Yeah.
So first things first, this is something it's really important. I got to get your opinion on it.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you a video, okay? And I want you and Garble can watch it too, though it is adult content, so you might want to cover his eyes. I want you to watch this video and narrate to the audience what you're saying.
Oh, it's
okay. Yo, I can do that. Oh, maybe you should close your ears too.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
David, can you cover Garble's ears?
So Sonic is the Burger King.
You can't hear this.
He's looking at the menu, and he has bun, but he's not putting it on his mouth. He's yiffing it. So Sonic, okay, did you find this on like a Sonic Rule 34 subreddit?
Our friend Lewis sent me this.
Well, Lewis,
so how does that make you feel?
Frequents,
What do you feel about that?
Okay, I feel like dirty. I need a shower.
I mean,
I've actually got a rap for that.
How do you use McChickens?
Chicken. No, I've had that a couple times. I'm not a fan of it, first off. Low quality bun. It's McDonald's chicken. And man, one time I had the lettuce, but it was just disgusting. So I wouldn't like to put my root in a McChicken. I guess that summarizes what I'm trying to say here.
Okay. So you personally wouldn't put root in McChicken?
No. However, a Red Robin Whiskey River burger, I'll root that up.
Okay.
How can you say that in front of your baby? That's fucked up.
How do you think he got it?
He has a root too. And, I mean, I'm trying to get him to eat new foods. I guess McChicken is on the menu. Check out.
Aww.
He's picking up too quickly on this.
How old is Garble now?
Garble is 3 months old.
He's so smart. You talk now.
How many months is
human
Garble
babies
years?
can't talk for a long
No,
time.
so forest trolls typically live a long time. I'm 231 years old. So he, being 4 months, he came out pretty much fully formed. Human babies,
I feel
they
bad
come
for the
out.
mother.
What's up?
I feel bad for the mother.
There was
Oh,
no
no.
mother, it was me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I pooped them out.
Oh, you pooped him out. I gotta be impressed with
He's
that.
a plebeian when it comes to troll lore, so
Yeah, I'm a please.
maybe you should break down the process for him.
Okay, so there was this day a few
I need
months
more
ago
deeds.
during at the beginning of quarantine. I was playing video games, and I felt like a big rumbling in my chest, and I thought it was a big poop. So I went to the bathroom, and I passed out for a couple of hours, and I came out feeling great. And then I met my little forest troll, and
Aw.
I love him. So the way that it happened is that I have an organ on my body called a root, and it needs to pollinate.
Yes.
So I have to expel the pollination. But I didn't for quite some time, and, well,
It got backed up.
it got backed up,
Right.
and it made a baby.
I understand.
So this is how
So it was an accident.
he's an uh-oh, but he's my uh-oh.
Well, I'm glad that he happened. That's a good thing. You're a good thing, Garble.
Largo.
So do all forest trolls have a affinity for Bun, or is he found
No,
something
that's
else?
just me indoctrinating my baby.
Okay. That's good.
I
That's
love
good to get
Bun.
him young, you know?
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
Bun. Like, to be real, Bun is life. But, it's a big but, sometimes you have to take your health into consideration. But you have to eat good. Like right now, I'm eating keto. You know what keto is?
Kettle?
Keto.
Ket-
Keto.
Keto. I did keto for a little bit,
Yeah,
yeah.
keto diet.
Okay.
I'm doing that right now.
Oh, nice.
How's that going for you?
It's going really good. I first off, I like eating fat. I like butter. I should be Paladine's son. But I don't know my mother.
It might be. You might be
Maybe
Paladin,
she's an
so-
ancient.
I mean, she is a Bun master.
I've never seen her buns.
Paladine? Oh, wait. I don't know who I'm thinking of. Shit.
Does she make deep buns?
I don't know. You tell me. Who's Paladine?
Paladine, she does southern cooking.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is who I was thinking of.
Yeah. Do you like cooking shows?
There's one on Netflix that I got into for a while. It's
Yeah.
like she does like Halloween themed stuff all the
Ooh.
time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Kind of.
Just like mostly baking, I think, and it's all like different like spooky snacks.
I like spooky snacks.
I can't remember what that one's called.
You watch any Ramsey?
Oh, I love Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
Like he's excuse me for saying he's an asshole.
Yeah.
But you know, that's important in reality TV. You have to have an asshole because they bring views.
Like,
Yeah.
That's really what TV and the internet and streaming and all of this. That's what it's
Assholes
about.
sell across all platforms.
Exactly. It's to bring more viewers to you.
Yeah.
So whether that's promoting it through commercials or having to engage or your viewers, you have to have that X factor.
And like the bigger the asshole, generally the better.
Yeah, if you're getting goatsy levels of asshole, you're gonna have a lot of viewers.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, David's standing up. I'm gonna stand up real quick. Garbo, you need to go sit over there in that corner, okay?
Oh, bye, Garble.
I didn't think I wanted to participate. Can I participate?
Yeah.
Well,
Hop on in here.
we have a good friend on the line. His
Wow.
name is Rick Patoray.
I'm coming in hot from right over there.
Right on.
Oh, man, I sit next to you.
You absolutely can sit next to me.
Rick Patoray has joined as a new challenger approaches.
I know. Here.
Dun, 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 dun.
Wait, so which one am I first? So now I'm. I don't know what it is.
Treeman and Centauros, por favor.
Hello.
Damn. I wish I had showed both of you that video now. But
I know. I kind of wanted to see it.
Do you have
see it
another
anyway?
weird one?
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, viewers.
No,
Do you mind
yeah.
if I watch it again?
Oh, yeah.
Or if I watch it?
It's
Not that I would ever voluntarily watch something dirty, but
Rick is a closet furry.
yeah. Well,
okay.
Furry?
You know.
It made me think Closet McFlurry, but oh, that's right. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, I'm gonna try to describe it too. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh,
it is Sonic the Hedgehog.
And it's buffering.
Yeah, he's ordering. Okay, he's received an order. I think he's very excited about it. He's getting ready to eat it, and no, it goes to his abdomen, and yeah, he's totally banging it. So that's okay. I mean, actually, especially for Sonic the Hedgehog, he's very slow. You would expect like
That's a very interesting observation.
it looks like he's actually like probably a pretty good level. Oh, Knuckles is not a fan. Knuckles showed up. Everybody. Yeah, no, actually, that's my big takeaway from that is that Sonic. You would think he would be like a Jackrabbit kind of like.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's true.
He should be faster.
Yeah,
You would think, but no, he seems like a pretty sensitive lover.
like too fast. Like
Sonic the Hedgehog is the Lightning McQueen of the animal kingdom.
speaking of Lightning
What
McQueen, I
else
can
do
show
you-
you guys Cars porn. That's
Oh.
what I'm going to show you.
No!
I mean, how many Rule 34s are there?
Oh
I'm
man,
down.
Bro.
I was
I know.
having this conversation
Whoa.
at work the other day, and someone said,
I
"Wouldn't it be
What
funny
is-
if there was Cars porn?" And I said,
I spend way too much time on the internet to not respect the rules of the internet.
"Oh, that's just
If it exists, there is porn of it.
that's just porn
Absolutely.
in a car."
In a car. Oh, no, that's different. No, we don't want. We've all seen
Okay,
that
here we go.
to some degree or another.
Why
Cars.
don't you guys describe what's happening here?
That is Lightning McQueen mounting a Porsche and
She's presenting.
saying that he is speed.
Yeah,
Ka-chow.
it's a pretty yuck photo.
Ka-chow!
I'm gonna vote that one yuck.
And what do we have here?
What is that one?
That is the Dynaco dude,
Oh, okay.
and he's tailpiping Lightning McQueen.
Lightning McQueen, yeah. Which I applaud. I applaud that. That it goes. I mean, every way that you could imagine. That's pretty good. I guess.
Yeah, it's very
I mean, like if cars are fucking, like why are we gonna stick to gender roles?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Cars porn is very accepting and inclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very loving and friendly community. Actually, I found.
Oh yeah. After my deep dives and read it.
Alex, is this what you get off?
Anyway,
Good for you. I'm glad you found it.
there's actually ones of Mater too, but that might take me some time to find. So I apologize for
Oh,
not.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the cable guy.
Yeah, especially like if you can find a GIF where he's like, there's like a vocalization, that would be pretty good. I'm trying to picture what it would sound like. I guess it would be like.
What do you think is going through Lightning McQueen's mind right now?
Right now, he's like. I mean, can I be
Could you go?
Yes,
If I can be totally.
Don't hold back.
If I could... Oh, that's right. This is the Rhetoric rabbit
Say whatever
hole.
the fuck you want.
Okay. Gloves off. I hope maybe in the comments or something we can share the photo for this. But like the way his eyes are like together. Like if I could do an impression of Lightning McQueen's face, it looks like this. Like,
yeah.
Which I interpret, and I don't really know. You know, of course, I'm just kind of spitballing here, but I interpret as like we've just initiated anal, like tailpipe sex, I guess is what it would be, and we're like just like okay, so all right, we've got it just far in, but like okay, maybe it's a little too early to really get into it.
I mean, to me, it looks exhausting.
Yeah, when the scary part is, yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah,
I think he's enjoying himself, but it's also painful.
Yeah, it looks like well, he will be enjoying himself probably like
He's not there yet.
yeah, like in 3 minutes. Like okay,
I'm
all right,
finally used to
they're
this.
in. Okay. Well, we know all the whatever fight business getting it. Oh, there's another one.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah, there's another. Okay, just
Okay, so in
Yeah,
this
please
one, allow me to describe this. This is basically Cars BDSM. Lightning McQueen has a boot.
That's true.
yeah. I didn't notice
And
that.
Mater is mounting him, saying get her done. Which is an homage to Larry the Cable Guy,
Who voices Mater?
who voices Mater, of course.
I'm sure he'd be delighted.
It's actually
Yes.
very complex.
This is
very
Cars
deep,
BDSM.
philosophical. Yeah.
There's a lot to consider there.
Right.
There really is.
Yeah. The boot. Yeah, the boot is a nice touch.
I know. I'm so glad you pointed that out because I wouldn't have. I hope you guys post this. In the
Actually, you know what? This is Cars, so I could probably post this in the comments. What would be wrong with that? There's no actual like sex happening.
Yeah.
For affinity.
So I'll just post links to this in the comments later.
Yeah.
So
No. That.
Just
yeah.
so everyone knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so you guys can experience that horror along with us. You know?
Technically, Cars porn is for fetish.
Yeah. You think so?
Elaborate.
It's on for affinity,
Oh.
which is literally a fur fetish website.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Nice.
You're a furry.
Nice. I had suspicions.
It's okay.
Thanks for telling me.
It's okay.
Now I know.
It's a very community.
I feel accepted.
And here we are.
It's okay. We're all furries here, apparently.
I mean, I'm thankful my legs are crossed. I'll say that. So I'm kind of thankful.
Jesus, Rick!
Oh, I made it dirty. Oh, I made it dirty. Right, it was me.
Yeah, hey man.
With
that
a
was
boner
uncalled
joke.
for.
My hands are here!
Boner joke.
My hands are here!
Jesus, tap dancing Christ. What do we even?
My hands are here.
My hands are right here too.
David!
Yeah, no, he was much easier, I guess, wasn't
Is
he?
the poop
Sorry.
coming out? Did you fall in the toilet? Where is he?
Probably pooping.
Dying!
Should someone go check on him?
Some shit I would say.
Yo, I mean, last time that I was in there for, like, that long, I pooped out a baby.
Yeah, right.
In that bathroom.
Yeah, you made like
I wrecked
Oh, you
that
pooped out
toilet.
a baby? Is that how that happened?
I wrecked that toilet.
you made a being in the shower, I think, right?
Oh.
Yo,
Right.
Oh, right. Yeah. You were just telling me that.
I wrecked the toilet
Yeah.
and I moved over to the shower.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't realize it was a
Yo.
two-step process.
Yo,
Interesting. See, force troll anatomy is for even in the time that I've known Scufflemoss, it's still kind of a mystery.
I could, if David is pooping, I could call him and we could just bring him back into the conversation.
Or what if we just put
would
him
be
on?
great.
If he's
Yeah.
pooping, what if we put him on speaker and just let him?
Yeah,
Have it?
just ask him how it's going.
I mean, like we've already seen cars fuck one another. I mean,
Yeah.
where else can we go?
oh,
Here we go.
you could go get ice cream.
No, yeah, that seems much more family friendly.
He picked up.
Hey, David, are you pooping?
I'm just in the bathroom for a minute. I'm just not feeling so good. I'll try to come in just a minute.
Okay, we were just trying to check the progress of your poop, ask how it was going.
Alright.
Alright, well, enjoy yourself. That guy always has the funniest poops, you know?
Yo,
You ever have that friend that you think, man, his poops are so
I
funny.
gotta ask. Is it gonna be legendary for me to clean up?
Perhaps.
Not to clean it up.
Perhaps. I guess you'll have to find out. I guess we'll know soon.
David, when you rewatch this,
If you've lived.
We'll give an update on the poop and the aftermath.
I'm gonna have to clean up your poop.
Yeah.
So, did you imagine that this was how the show was gonna go?
I didn't really have a vision. I just thought I would talk
That's
and I'd
good.
show you guys like McChicken.
Did you imagine that you would feel like we're talking about poop with your partner is pooping in there?
I didn't. That wasn't something that. I'm not that clairvoyant.
Okay.
I didn't know the specifics of how it was going to go down, but I like the way it's going so far.
Yeah.
I think
So
we've had a lot of deep conversation.
yeah, we got deep into corresport.
Deep into something, yeah.
Something else.
Life. What does it mean?
I got a couple of notes because I was trying to think of things I wanted to talk to you about. And one of those things is how do you sleep generally? That's a question for both of you. Are you a heavy sleeper? You a light sleeper?
My sleep kind of has fluctuated. For about 2 years there, I was getting like 4 hours of sleep, and it was really bad sleep. Then, up until like 3 months ago, I've been getting great sleep, like some of the best sleep I've had in years. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm sleeping really good right now.
How much are you generally, like, how many hours are you getting a night here recently?
At least 6.
Okay.
Which is an improvement, what it shows.
How about you, Rick?
Man, I actually sleep a lot better now than I used to. I'm typically like 6-7 hours a night, and it actually has been very restful sleep recently. Although it's a drag waking up early in the morning, but I've gotten better at it. And what I like too is I never dream.
Never dream?
No, sir.
I'm not a very active dreamer either.
To me, I associate dreaming with like those times when you wake up in the middle of the night and then you get to sit like this for 5 hours going, well, okay, now what,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thankful those times are sort of behind me anyway.
The reason I asked is because I've been paying more attention to my sleep recently and like taking note of it.
It's good for you.
And something I've noticed is like, I think, when I was like a teenager, I would sleep for 12 hours if no one stopped me. But nowadays, I will wake up naturally like after about 6 hours.
That's pretty good though.
I don't wake up groggy.
That's good.
I wake up clear of mind, like eyes open, and I'm ready to go, which is not always been the case. But I'm not groggy in the mornings anymore, and I'm not sure what changed. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older or what. But when you guys wake up in the morning, do you generally take you a minute to get up and like start thinking right, or you just kind of open your eyes?
It depends for me. I'm an old fart. I'm 37. I'll say that. I don't know why, but no, it's actually gotten easier for me. Like I remember in my 20s, like I think I did. Like I always have the theory that like I believe in the sleep debt. Have you ever heard of the theory about the sleep debt? So like my mom, I remember talking. She would say like, "Well, just mind your sleep debt." And I remember thinking like, well, basically for like the past 15 years, I've worked like an 8 to 4 job plus, and then like going gigging like 3 to 4 nights a week. So I think I'm still kind of making up for those times. So I feel like anytime I go to sleep, like I can sleep forever. But I think by the same token, like when I wake up, that's probably why I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel like it's restful. It's not like disturbed sleep like it used to be.
Because me and David are the same age, and he's a very heavy sleeper, whereas anything that happens will wake me up.
Really, yeah.
Like I guess don't sleep very deeply. I guess.
Yeah.
But how many hours do you get?
About 6.
6.
That's pretty good though. Especially if you're waking up feeling well. I mean, you're probably on a good cycle. It feels like.
Like you said, there's sleep debt too. So if I do that for too long and or if I get no sleep for a little while, then I will catch up, get a little more sleep one day.
Yeah.
Have either of you ever lucid dreamed?
Yes.
Or you were aware of, in control of what you were doing, and aware that you were in a dream?
Yep.
I think,
Yeah,
It's fun.
please elaborate.
It
Yeah,
is
I've
so much
tried.
fun.
I've tried so hard, but it never works.
So lucid dreaming it's a lot of fun if you could figure out or teach yourself really, because you have to teach yourself how to do it. It starts with when you go to sleep, when you're in bed. Start by looking at your hands. Then think about your hands. Then just go to sleep thinking about your hands. Then somehow it correlates to you remembering that you want to do something with your hands.
interesting.
And that's when in the dream you can think about, I want this to happen. I want, I want to go fight things, so I use my hands. So, like this one dream that I had, there was I summoned a sword, but I went and fought some vampires. It was cool.
Nice.
I don't
Yeah.
ever have cool dreams like that.
So lucid dreaming, especially fighting in lucid dreaming. Fighting in lucid dreaming is so much fun because you're just kind of like floating around while you're bouncing. Your kicks are going like really hard, but then when they hit, they're just kind of like. But you can imagine that you're doing really cool things.
I actually this this is I wanted to talk about this anyway. Here's a good opportunity to bring it up. I want to. Okay, so the way you and I met,
Yeah.
I met you at Soulshine Pizza in Nashville. We were singing a band, and
Fable Cry?
we bumped into you there.
I think that's the first night that I met Scuffle as well.
Yeah,
For real?
I think
It
so.
was the night of the Nemos.
You're absolutely right. That's the first time I ever met you.
and you're such a character that I just had to come up and talk to you. I was like, "What's going on over here?" And then started dancing and just hanging out. And I remember, I think I sent you a friend request on Facebook and found you before Facebook decided to be racist against forest trolls when you had your own Facebook page.
Yes.
That's true.
And
That's right.
when you didn't have to use Stupid Hair Caretaker's Facebook page.
That's also true.
It's very unfortunate that Facebook is discriminatory against forest trolls.
Yeah,
Facebook is one of the worst corporations in the entire universe.
Yeah.
I feel no shame in saying that.
that's
And
what
I
they're
hope
paying
that they
attention
get shut down.
Yeah.
That is my real beliefs on Facebook.
Forest troll
I
rights.
use Facebook as a way of showing my friends the things that I have done because I want people to be happy and I want to make things for them. So I have to use a platform that will show people.
Yeah.
So I use Facebook. There's a lot of people on Facebook. Facebook is one of the fastest growing sites that have ever existed. Even now, it still has the most amount of users of any site.
Yeah.
Twitter is actually a fraction of what Facebook has.
And Facebook, I think, is like literally a third of the planet. I
Yes,
mean,
it
it's
is.
Wow.
yeah.
India has a big share in Facebook, and that's why there's like almost a third of Facebook is actually India.
Well, that would follow, you know.
Yeah,
Sure.
and China as well.
What, 1.5 billion folks there?
Yeah.
Well,
For
three
real.
and a half between the two nations, I guess.
For real. But I
You're
hate
better.
Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg is a reptilian
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is
or an android.
it's ironic that he's so against forest trolls, considering that he's a reptile.
It's true. You would think he'd be a little bit more
Man,
forgiving.
he's a skinwalker.
Yeah.
So you, Mark Zuckerberg, I'm on to you. I'm sorry, Alex. Your show is gonna get shut down because of this.
You know what? This is an important message to get out there, so I'm willing to make that sacrifice.
You know what? I bet they're gonna pull some bullshit stuff like blaming us on talking about cars fucking one another.
But we all know what
Hey,
it's
that's freedom of expression.
That's right, yeah. That's
Well,
protected, yeah.
So it's okay to talk about cars porn because cars porn.
is important.
I mean, if you really have to discuss Tomater's face somewhere, then I'm glad it's on Facebook.
Yeah.
And Zuckerberg, I hope you are hearing.
Oh.
It's a message, private message.
So, I met Scufflemoss
Mhm.
at it's at Soulshine Pizza,
Uh-huh.
and then I added you on Facebook, and what happened then is Scufflemoss. I guess you had found my Instagram page,
Yeah.
and you asked me. I got a message. My first message I got from Scufflemoss said, "I've seen your art friend, and I think it seems to me that you're aware of the veil or something like that."
It's possible.
And I was like, "Huh, okay, interesting."
Yeah.
And we just started talking, and Scufflemoss said something about if I were to go on an adventure, I would want you in my party. He's like,
Nice.
Scufflemoss is very good with bow staff, and he's also a bard.
Nice.
I was like, nice.
He rolls a lot of d6 for bonus for you.
And then the next time I saw you was at Festival of Ghouls, and you had your cute maid outfit.
Yeah. I did wear that for a little bit.
Flame you. Oh my gosh.
Hey, we're not kink shaming. It's
at
not
all.
my kink. But, I wore that.
Get in where you fit in, baby.
Yeah, you
It's not the only time that I portrayed a person of the other persuasion.
Yeah, I feel as though I've seen a video recently where.
That hasn't been released yet.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
Hey,
Excuse me.
Hey.
I'm misremembering things. I'm so sorry.
I want to touch your ear. Can I touch your ear?
Absolutely.
You know,
Can I touch
people.
your ear?
That was exciting.
Sure.
Of course.
Nice.
Here's
Thank
the
you.
thing. People
Nice ear,
come
dude.
up to me.
What's that?
Nice ear, dude.
Thanks, man. I've got
Speaking
two
of like Festival of
really?
Ghouls and places that I've been. Almost every time I go somewhere, people say, "I want to touch your ear." They always say it. And they reach out for
That
it. Or
makes
they
sense.
wait till my back is turned. And
Yeah.
they reach out and they grab it.
Don't touch the troll.
No, they can
It-
touch it. I don't care.
I'll promise you, if I'm around
It's
and you touch
squishy,
the
it's
troll,
weird.
you might have some
Does-
words. Okay.
Does
Give it a squish.
oh, it's very, very nice.
Yeah.
I can see the appeal.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done any other. May I?
Can I put my
Oh,
finger
can we
inside of it?
both do? Oh, it is very nice.
Oh!
Rule 34. Hello.
Yo! Yo! Hey, give me a second helping of that. For real. Go. Oh. That's calming.
It really does feel like it's a good texture.
It's a nice texture.
It really
It
is.
is. I was surprised.
I would describe it as
yeah.
like barky, but also
Yeah.
like giving.
the
That
perfect
means-
amount of crisp.
Yeah, perfect. Like a good s'more.
Do you have any bugs?
What's up?
Do you have any bugs? Are you a home to any bugs?
Oh,
You just were pretty well clothed. I guess we wouldn't know.
no, okay.
Like Oogie Boogie?
I'm not a sucker of bugs.
I feel like I am most of the time.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, every human's a
Have
sexual
I had
parasite,
bugs?
so
yes. Were they crabs? No. Were they lice? No. They were fleas.
is
I had fleas.
okay.
I
Gotcha.
guess it makes me a furry too.
Is Scufflemoss subject to any human ailment?
Yeah,
Like any?
same ones that you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So has Scufflemoss had to practice social distancing as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I had a runner.
Oh.
Mm.
Okay. So Scufflemoss has been tested and everything.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
And how are you feeling now?
Oh, I'm feeling much better.
Were the symptoms similar to that of a human?
Yeah. But it wasn't extreme. For real, it was a very mild case for me.
Did they have to draw sap?
No.
How did they run the test?
They stuck a thing in my nose.
Oh,
Mm.
It was gross.
it sounds gross.
At least it wasn't in the root.
That's good.
They would have had to fist it.
It is. I mean, when you look at it,
It's hefty.
I mean, even garbles. I'm telling
We've got garbage bags in the garage that are filled with pollen. Hefty, hefty, hefty.
So I know you traveled here in creative hamburger buns.
Yes, I did.
How long have you been in America?
Since the 1950s.
Okay.
So,
Did you mean to
70
come here?
years? Like 70 years.
Did you come here on purpose?
No, I came here because I fell asleep in a crate of hamburger buns, and I was shipped across the freaking Atlantic Ocean.
That was rude of him.
It was.
Yeah.
It was
You never asked
stupid of me, but rude of them.
Well, I'm glad you're with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
I'm
wound up
glad
here.
you're with us too.
Yeah.
Especially,
I didn't
really-
choose to come here either, but
I mean, dude,
Do any of us.
like, we are all floating in the same existence at the same time.
that's
Right?
very special.
True.
So, whether the Matrix theory turns out to be true or not, we are all in some sort of soup.
Mhm.
That is the universe.
Regardless of what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is what our universe is. Even if it's with us being hooked up to machines, and, this is all a simulation. But that's not what I believe.
What do you believe is happening?
Happening.
What do you think? What do you think happens? Do you believe in a soul?
Here's the rabbit hole.
Yeah, this is where we go. Oh,
Let's start here.
Now you've been
we
waiting.
had fun with
I'm gonna move into
hardcore.
David's chair, if that's okay.
Now
Yeah.
we're gonna
Otherwise,
go.
people can become more comfortable.
Okay, so what was the question?
Let's start with. Do you believe in a soul?
Do I believe in a soul?
Are we electrons firing within the brain, and everything is sort of a roll of the dice, and maybe nothing happens once you lose brain activity, or do you believe that something continues after human death, or fourth stroll death?
Given I am a scientist, first off.
This we know.
I'm not a Christian scientist, but I'm not a Scientologist.
Big difference.
I'm a scientist in
Just gonna
thought.
take your E-rating. I don't know.
Yeah, I took one of those once. For real, I took one of those.
Oh, did you
I
really?
did.
Oh my
I
gosh.
figured out the trick. This will get your podcast shut
Okay,
down
yeah.
for real.
Forget
Oh,
that
yeah,
for a minute.
yeah,
You have to
yeah.
tell this story.
Okay,
We
so
can.
No, we're definitely going here.
okay, right. So Scientologists have their stores, their bookstores,
Okay.
and if you go into one of them, there's one here in Murfreesboro.
Yeah, there's one in Nashville too.
That's right,
Big one. Huh.
big one. You can go
I've seen
in
that one,
and
yeah.
ask for a free e-reading.
Okay.
They will give it to you. What they do is they sit you down at a desk. They give you these two, like, cans.
Things to hold on to. Is
Little
that right?
cans. Little metal cans. And it's connected to a little meter. And if you hold on to it and they ask you questions, and as you're sitting there, they want to see how you react to those questions. Now, the way that it picks it up is, instead of it actually being your E-energy or whatever the heck they call it, it's a weird term.
It's your. From what I remember, and I may be wrong, but from what I remember, your E-reading is how many Satans are possessing you,
Satans.
and those
Oh.
are the weird spirits.
That's something
It's
we
a-
could talk about.
It's kind of like your
Let's come
sins.
back to things, 'cause that's a very neat idea.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you have
Elrond.
these Satans,
Represent.
but the thing is, the way that it works is they ask you specific questions that are meant to kind of drive your anxiety up, to make you want to clench your hands.
Do you feel comfortable talking to
So-
Scientologists? That's the first one that comes to mind. I'm sorry.
Hey, that's true. So they grip
No.
onto it, and the tighter that you grip, the more the meter goes up.
So
That's
like,
how it works. So I tested it. When I first went down and I grabbed them, I gave them a nice big squeeze.
yeah.
And I noticed that the meter went up by itself without them having to ask me any questions.
Interesting. Yeah.
So throughout their questioning, I would squeeze it every once in a while just to watch the meter jump.
Yeah.
And then they asked the questions.
You know.
I would, depending on the question, I just kind of would react to it. And it reacted exactly how I wanted it. So, is the Church of Scientology a real church? The answer is no.
Well, if I could tell you, Fran, that's probably honestly your Satan's acting out on your behalf. That's not really what your spirit wants, and I'm happy to show you
If
the
you-
way.
if you'd
I'll
like
show you how I extract my features.
If you'd like to
I've
know
seen
more
it.
about
I
this,
know.
I have a pamphlet you can read. I
Well,
can leave this with
I
you.
only like reading children's books.
That's a better way to be.
And Harry Potter.
I don't know,
well,
man.
I can't agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
I generally like to read good book series, but that's just me.
Okay. But look. What's happening right now with J.K. Is it J.K.? It's J.K.
J.K.
Rowling.
Rowling.
What's happening with her right now
Yeah.
is cancel culture.
Well, I'm not even really getting into that. I just think Harry Potter is not a very well written
Shit series.
It's so
Okay, well,
It's meant for kids.
yeah, I know.
I mean,
That's what I felt about.
yeah, I'll just
About
quit roasting on it.
No, it's meant for kids.
You can see people
That's
going,
the truth
no
of
way,
it.
man. Expelliarmus. I'm turning this feed off.
It was written for elementary kids to get into reading larger books, which, as a kid, you want to read short things to get them out of the way.
I understand Harry Potter. I've read them, so I feel like I can't comment on it just because I've read the books and I've seen the movies. Have you read the whole series?
I've read the whole series of the first series. I don't care about the next books.
Hmm.
Really
That's
don't.
what I meant. Is the first what is it, 7?
What, 7 or 8? Or 7.
I like the
Seven
Daniel
books,
Radcliffe,
8 films, yeah.
Radcliffe. That's the only ones that I really care about. All the rest of them.
I fuck with the first 3 up to Prisoner of Azkaban
That's my
Azkaban's my favorite
because
film.
that's
That's my
they're
favorite.
really short. Those books, they're easy entry level books for children.
Sure.
At starting with 4 and continuing onwards, they're about twice as thick. And half of the book is this being in Miss McGonagall's classroom answering questions.
Who
And I
gives a
feel
fuck?
like,
Yeah.
who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
She's just stretching for content. She's stretching it out. And this is a pet. There's nothing. If you enjoy that, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a pet peeve of mine, but generally, I like my own writing style is to be very direct and to the point.
Don't bore us. Get to the
yeah.
chorus. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. Everything. Yeah.
I-
Sean
I-
Petty, by the way.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That things should get right to the point. And it would have shortened the books quite a bit, especially being that they're kids' books. You want to keep their attention. But then you have other books, ones that I haven't read, like the Twilight series. I will never read those books. I will never read 50 Shades of Grey.
I tried. I read paragraphs, and I was like, "This really feels like a shit romance novel." Like, all that was missing was like the bulging man on the front of the cover.
Isn't it supposed to be like, oh, this is so hard and edgy, and it's just the most tame.
Right. I mean, like,
It's just so bland.
I guess that was maybe that was the conceit of it, was that it was meant to be like, okay, normal
This is
culture.
only spicy if you're
Here's a little bit of
middle-aged.
BDSM and
Yeah.
see if you can handle it. Oh my gosh! Oh,
Yeah.
this guy wears jeans when he has sex. Oh my
So
god! The whole fucking
It's
thing.
spicy Karen fodder.
It's spicy Karen fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good way
Yeah,
to put it. Yeah.
Oh man, it's Karen feed.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
I guess for that maybe like
But I'm not a Karen.
3% of
I'm not gonna eat it.
anybody
that's-
that's not been experienced.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't eat dog food. You're a troll.
I wouldn't
You would eat
golf.
bun,
I'm not a golfer.
obviously. Yeah.
Their pants go way up too high.
True. I agree with you.
And all they're doing all day is hitting balls.
Mhm.
If I wanted to do that, I'll just go to the Chippendales and pay them to hit them in the balls.
This bringing it back just a little bit.
Speed dog.
Hey.
We were talking about lucid dreaming and how
Yeah.
if it's something you practice, you can get better at it.
Yes, you could get very good at it.
So
Just like you could get good at anything if you practice.
I got really heavily into chaos magic about 3 years ago, and it
Yeah.
was you that introduced me
Uh-huh.
to Liber Newell
Mhm.
and Psychonaut, and really turned me on to that sort of thing. And there's a quote. You know who Alan Moore is? He wrote the Watchmen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's familiar. Yeah.
He's he wrote a lot of really heavy hitters for DC Comics back in the 90s. Like he wrote The Killing Joke, which some people
Oh wow,
regard
yeah.
Yo,
That's
That's
the
the
best
best Batman series. Yeah.
Um,
I actually just watched that on Netflix not long ago. It was
yeah,
great.
very excellent.
yeah, I enjoyed it.
And yeah, he wrote Watchmen, and this was early 2000s, I believe. But he retired, moved back to Ireland, I believe, and told everyone that he was done making comic books and he was going to devote his life to magic. He's going to become a magician. He's like He moved back to his hometown.
Like Aleister Crowley.
Yeah, and kind of.
I'm gonna play my hoody-goody, leave me alone.
Yeah. And that's what he's done. He just and he's like and a big part of that is I'll just walk down the streets, and the same streets I walked down as a child, and that being so far away from this area and coming back to it. There's power in this place.
That's like a shamanistic thing,
right?
Like where you're rooted, your power is, to use the term, but rooted somewhere.
Yeah, and one of my favorite quotes of his is says the language about magic is more about language than it is about magic.
Interesting.
Because when you start talking about that kind of stuff, you really realize you start getting caught up on semantics. Well, what does this mean to you?
Sure. Yeah.
So that's my question now: is what does magic mean to you? When you hear that word, what do you think that means? And that's for both of you guys.
There's many ways to think about magic. There's the magic of feeling the world around you without using any senses, using a sixth sense. There's magic as in prestidigitation, and that's a charlatan's game.
And also level 1.
Yeah, it's level 1.
What prestidigitation?
Prestidigitation.
What is that?
Illusions.
Yeah.
Okay. Sleight of hand would fall into that.
And then there's the chaos magic that you're talking about. And that deals a lot with, like I mentioned earlier, we're all in this soup, this universal soup. And the chaos magics is really about tapping into that soup and affecting the soup in your own way. To kind of like cause an outcome. You kind of wish for an outcome, and you put the works into it, and it happens. But it could be returned as something that you've heard before. Faith without work is dead. Faith is whatever you really want it to be. It doesn't have to be, the putting faith on a thing to say that you believe in one single deity. It's what you are putting your faith in. And the chaos magic is, instead of putting faith in a higher power, you're putting your faith into your own self.
If I could break in just for a minute.
Yeah. And then, what you could say?
I was going to say, I think more specifically, chaos magic is about, and this might be thelemic magic. It's more about, instead of getting caught up on how things work and the mechanics of it, it's about results. How practicality of magic. How can you actually affect the world, and not worrying about sort of how the thing works? Because something you were just touching on is in magic you have left-hand path and right-hand path. Right-hand path is about I draw my power from a higher source. Left-hand path is I draw my source from myself. I am my own god. And whichever one you have faith in, whether it be yourself or whether it be a higher source, it's sort of irrelevant if you're getting results. So the chaos magic approach would be like, fuck thinking about any of that. Let's just, I know this works for me, so I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to question how it works.
That's basically it,
Yeah.
You said it in 4 words. Then I would have.
Okay, so what magic is? So whenever I talk about this, I think people are looking. They go. Some certain people go looking for magic.
Yo.
It's like trying to find it, but in reality, it's all around you. It's
you just have to kind of, it's kind of like in meditation.
Mhm.
In meditation, you have to just sit, quiet yourself, quiet everything around you, and get lost.
I believe that the universe will give you messages, but the problem is people are expecting it to be a person to come up to you and just yell
Yeah.
the thing in your face. When in reality, it's in the rustle of the leaves. It's in
It's never that.
the sound of the stream. It's just you're not listening to it. You're too busy looking for it that you're not listening to it right in front of you.
It's that sixth sense thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You're turning off all the other senses to then turn on that one.
Yeah.
I'm feeling very mugglish right now because like I don't feel any of that
If
stuff.
you imagine that you were talking to someone, but
Mhm.
instead of it being someone who inhabits a body, it's literally nature itself.
Sure.
But it has its own consciousness. So how would nature communicate with you? Well, it would communicate in let's say you look at a painting
Mhm.
and that makes you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
That you could call it channeling, you could call that many things, but an intuition, or maybe that's a message from the universe to you.
I don't know. I always feel like that's something. I don't know that the flora in my gut, or like we like the lighting. Look at that longer, and that's kind of what dictates everything. I don't know. The older I get, I kind of don't believe in anything. It's very weird. You know? I don't like to say that. I want to be spiritual to a degree, or at least believe in something. And I guess.
What's your, if you don't mind me asking, what's your history on psychedelics? If you want to.
Oh, no problem. No. Well, let me think here. So my name is Randall P. Smith, and I'm delighted to be here on this podcast. No,
many moons ago.
Oh, yeah, of course,
in a distant land.
allegedly, I may have tried psychedelics several times. I love acid. I've enjoyed it. I've had like a lot of like kind of crummy experiences where you go to Home Depot and just go, whoa, look at everything in rows. And then I've also had like totally revelatory, staring at the moon through the clouds, well, it looks like the universe is birthing itself, listening to, Claire de Lune, like crying with groups of people. Like I've had kind of like the whole experience there. And I think my favorite thing, especially about acid, that it kind of taught me is it really defined to me like what your perception is. And perception to me is that, and it makes it scary, but perception to me, oh, thank you so much.
What are you smoking there, my friend?
I am smoking one of Neef's cigarettes. I'm not sure what these are. I don't think they have any nicotine in them, so
Thanks, brother.
never mind all that.
Oh, okay, that's new to me.
But the
Well,
interesting thing that acid kind of proved to me was that, okay, you have your five or six senses, but your consciousness to me feels like whatever that being is, it's sitting there with all the levers, watching all the screens. That's your consciousness. And what acid does is it distorts and turns off a lot of those channels. And your consciousness or whatever is still going, wow, I'm trying still to interpret all this, but I don't have any information now. And what I loved about that feeling was that it proved like how fragile your perception of anything could be, and how fleeting and misconstrued it may be, even though it's just like
it
memory.
just shakes you up.
Yeah,
Gets
totally.
you thinking about things differently.
Oh, totally. And actually, and frankly, too, I remember, especially after I had my very first amazing acid trip, I had probably for about 2.5 weeks, probably the best sense of well-being that I think I've ever had in my life. And I've heard other people report that, too. I haven't had it since. Sure would like to. But yeah, it was really revelatory. And I would definitely, safely, if you could do it, find it somewhere, buy Bitcoin and buy it somewhere.
Yeah.
It's I would definitely recommend it if you can do it safely.
Absolutely do it in a safe and legal way.
Allegedly. I guess, I don't know. I guess it's a blanket term nowadays. Why not?
Allegedly.
And we would never, of course, advocate for the use of drugs. But, definitely try it. Anyway.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, for sure.
And
And me, we'll do it together. Why not?
hunt me down.
Yeah, for sure. We'll we'll take our tops off and listen to the to Debussy in the front yard. It'll be amazing. I promise.
Now, when you say take your tops off, are we talking about like cars porn again?
No, I meant like the
You're
top of my
taking your
body.
tops?
Like we're gonna bifurcate ourselves and
Okay.
really no.
David, you missed it. We were looking at cars porn.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, how did that go?
he's pretty intense.
Oh, well,
wish you
we
had
found
been
out that Alex is a furry.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
I found out myself today.
Apparently that's
We've all
I
learned a
outed
lot
you.
today, you know.
I'm sorry I outed you,
We
but
hope
you
you
showed
outed.
me furry porn.
I just realized it was furry porn because it's cars. So
I mean,
there's no fur.
no.
Good point.
It's still anthro
Anthro.
promotion.
Okay,
No,
interesting.
It's
Okay,
not personifying a object, and it
So,
is,
am
in
I a-
this case,
yeah.
railing another of its kind.
Right.
So,
Oh, man, I wonder if we could find car, like, fucking a person.
Oh, I'm sure.
there's
Yeah,
a,
there are people that I know that are
there's a subreddit called Dragons Fucking Cars.
dragons fucking cars.
Yup, and it's exactly how it sounds.
Really?
God bless you, internet. I just love everything you do. And please
Reddit,
keep it
Reddit
up.
is one of my favorite websites.
Okay,
I'll
I'll
say that.
refrain from pulling up the subreddit for dragons fucking cars right now. But
I'm
I'll
going
definitely do that
to-
in my own time.
Once I
It's-
go home
I
and
mean,
secure my
Take it
VPN.
with a grain of salt. Or a tissue.
Whatever.
However you like it.
No judgment here, babe.
No, I'm not king shaming.
Get in where you fit, for sure. Wow, this has gone a lot of places. I'm liking it.
Yo.
Yeah, this is very fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, something. I think this is fun, but I also think it's important.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we're not talking about anything controversial right now, but I think just people exchanging ideas in a calm and friendly way. Even, you know, like, I like having conversations with people I don't agree with either on certain things about those things.
Sure.
Because, you know, maybe I will hear something that changes my own biases and perspectives on it. And
That's all we can do.
you know, that might happen for the other person as well, and we can both be sharpened and be better than we were previously by glancing off of each other and sharing those ideas. And I think that's rare nowadays. People want to yell at each other. They don't, especially when it comes to things that they feel really strongly about and someone disagrees with them.
Yes.
Yo.
And I think when it comes to that kind of stuff, it's especially important to talk about.
Totally.
If you hold something very dear, like an idea very dear to you, say it's your religion or your political view, if you hold that very strongly in your mind, well, then really you should be able to test that and put it up against counter arguments.
Sure.
Otherwise, I guess you don't believe it very well.
Well,
You can't do that.
If not, yeah, it kind of plays into that whole thing. I think all the time that, and it's a kind of one of the few standards to try and hold myself to is like the second you think you're somewhere, you're as far away from it as you could be. And I think
Right.
I think really if somebody's going to be legit about faith, it's kind of probably that way too, you know. But I don't know. It's hard to.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
Let's see. We talked about what magic means, and I think what we basically, came to add into this if you want. But I think basically what we arrived at is, magic is it's nature, it's all around you, but there's also applicable magic where you can, as an individual, as a magician, alter the landscape around you. And I think something you guys specifically could relate to really well, because I think music falls into that category. You're affecting the perspective directly. I mean, because music's about emotion.
Yep.
So you're directly influencing, sort of, you could say against their will. You are influenced. I mean, they might be open to it, they might not be.
So
But it's
would you
sort of
say
irrelevant.
conversation is also magic because you're influencing people for better or
Absolutely.
worse?
It makes
It
sense. It's a
absolutely
great
is
point.
magic.
So
Conversation is
magic,
actually called lesser magic.
so magic is, in your view, is a more loosely kind of general term in regards to that.
Oh yeah, I mean, magic is there's a lot to it. With specifically going into that lesser magic that I mentioned. Lesser magic is how you dress, how you put yourself out to people, the things that you say with how they affect others. If you want to dress like a gothic person and look scary, then that's what people are going to think of you. They're going to be a little thrown back. But then you're going to come across those who also dress like that. And then you're going to be able to influence them because essentially you are like them. It's kind of going into that you dress for the job that you want to. And that's kind of what lesser magic is. It's dressing for what you want.
I've heard that described as glamour magic as well.
It is as
That
well.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And it falls into lesser magic.
Okay.
So all of it is into one big category. You have your conversation, which is how you talk to people. Then there's the glamour, which is how you dress. And
Presentation,
that's
personas.
It's important because you want to make yourself feel very good.
Yeah. You can actually make yourself into a character. People do it all the time.
They do.
Put on a face,
They do.
and maybe not even consciously. Like imagine being at work. You have this certain a certain way you present yourself there. You have a certain face you put on in social gatherings, and it's not disingenuous. It's just we have this sort of unspoken rule of ethics that we conduct with people, even strangers. And that's this what you consider polite.
I always think about that like social contract kind of stuff.
Yeah, like
This is the way the
unspoken
world
rules.
should work. Yeah, we're supposed to,
Yeah, we know how you know how to interact with a stranger, even though you've never met that person.
Exactly. We should, at a base level, hopefully be passingly good at that.
You know, at least most people do. It's like, I don't know this person. I probably shouldn't just start rambling about dragons fucking cars like I do with my friends. You know?
Yo,
But do you want to
or
see a
that
video?
word I had in my bottle. Like,
But-
you don't want to walk up and someone and say, hey, I have a hemorrhoid. What shall I do about it? They might give you good advice.
Let's take a look.
But they might also say, who
Yeah.
are you?
It's sort of a 50-50 gamble.
Mhm.
Exactly. Well, with hemorrhoids, it's more like a 90-10.
Yeah, fair enough.
10% they'll say, go get some preparation H. The other 90% will probably walk away.
There's that 10% that's like, yeah, bro, let me look at your hemorrhoid.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's at least a
So-
percent. It's like,
It's like
Bring it
Let
on,
me see that
10,
shit.
10,
Bust it out.
We could also say that it's 70, 10, 10, 10, and you have proctologists.
That's math.
Yo.
Scufflemoss is a mathematician.
scientist.
I'm a mathematician.
Mathematician.
I'll create magic with my mouth.
Nice.
That's right.
Nice.
Math is magic.
Oh, shoot, I was going to say something I can't remember now. That got me. What were we just talking about?
What? Oh,
Such is the rabbit hole.
I got lost in it.
It's easy to do.
So would you say
Almost
magic is your influence on the world?
Oh, personas. That's what I want to talk about, and that's what that is.
personas.
Personas. I guess that's
You bring it into
an expanded. Yeah. But what I was gonna say is that putting on a face you do when you're at work or you're around people, you can expand that outwards to where you can actually become what you want to be, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you see you have that's why role models are important. That's why archetypes are important.
Yeah.
Because you see something and you aspire to be it. It could be your father. It could be any kind of role model.
good traits you want to emulate.
And it's like, I want to be like that when I grow up.
Exactly.
You see a fireman, an astronaut. You're an aspiration, you know?
Yep.
And,
Cars porn star.
yeah, of course. That's an obvious, up there with fireman.
An astronaut.
Yeah.
With VR technology, this is all possible. You could go buy an Oculus tomorrow and then be a car.
But,
I'm ready to jack in and do terrible things.
It could be a 3-car pileup.
something we were talking about.
The traffic would be horrendous.
Traffic jam, that feels like an easy joke, but I mean, you
orgy.
gotta have it, right? I mean, it feels like it's an easy one, but we're saying traffic jam.
Oh, I need some water.
That's the name of the first film. There you go. Traffic
Jam. Get jammed in traffic.
It makes me think of Big Lebowski. Wasn't it Log Jamming? Wasn't that the name of the film? I'm here to fix Donna Cobble. That's right.
Shit.
That's why they send me IMAX books.
Personas.
Personas.
But you can expand upon that, and if you have the vision in your mind, you can become that. That's sort of something intuitively people know,
Oh,
right? But if you actually think about it, you can take that as deep as you want. We were talking about Jim Carrey and his method acting.
yo,
Whereas, if you ever seen Man on the Moon, plays
Part of it, yeah.
Andy Kaufman.
Yep.
He was in character for 6 months. He didn't leave character.
yo,
But he hated his guts.
they all hated him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty pretentious thing to do. But if it's effective,
It's
Johnny Depp does it too.
see. I think you become something genuinely.
Yo.
And it gets into this persona and this glamour magic we're talking about.
Oh,
You could philosophically think about it as channeling or possession. of something.
yeah, it is.
Maybe he was
You dress like what you
channeling
want to
Andy
be,
Kaufman.
and you become it. But you have to put it all. You have to put everything into it.
yeah.
Right.
So
It's a
it
full
goes back to that
investment.
faith thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have faith that what you are doing
Faith in your magic.
is the right thing.
Yeah. Or the faith that at least that it'll work.
That's
Confidence.
better work.
And no, and that's what I know. You understand this, but I think that might be hard for some people to understand. Is you have to know
Yo.
that it'll work.
Yo.
Yeah. So, and that's a hard thing to do, to know that.
Yes, it is.
It feels like positive visualization or something, like a secret almost. You know? I'm going to win $1 million.
Have you guys seen The Shining?
Yo,
Oh, yeah, totally.
I think it's something he expands on more in the book, but
Mhm.
I think The Shining is a real concept. Sort of, maybe not to the point of telepathic communication where people get, maybe not. But sort of when,
I believe in ESP.
okay,
So
like, if you can imagine, like, you meet someone, and maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a friendship, but you meet someone and you click, it's sort of, they talk about, like, soulmates or love at first sight, but, like that archetype, that stereotype of just seeing someone and resonating with them, you're on the same frequency. So they don't, not actually visually popping out to you, but there's something about that person that pops out among the crowd or something. And I think that's true of locations. I think that's true of objects, and obviously true of people. And it's not. Here's what's interesting: is it's not something. It's not exactly that it's a quality of that person, because a part of it is you being able to see that. So it's sort of a marriage between you and that thing. You both have to possess that quality in order to recognize it in each other.
And within one another. Yeah, that's interesting.
So it's like being on the same frequency, sort of. And I was talking to a friend about it the other day, and I thought about it in a way I hadn't thought about it before. You can think of it like, it's like there's this joke. Like, there's this inside joke, and no one knows what the joke is. It's an unspoken joke. But you can sort of see it when you meet someone and they give you, like, that smile. It's like they know.
You get it, yeah.
And no one knows what that joke is, but we're aware that there's a joke.
That's a great way to put that, yeah. Makes
And
sense.
we can't really discuss it, but it's like you see and you're like, that person gets it. And that's really hard to explain if you don't know what I'm talking about,
I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, I know. I mean, certainly with personal interactions, yeah, I've definitely had that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to define, but yeah, exactly what, like you say, that's what it feels like. That's a great way to put it. Like, all right, you sort of get it. You get it too. All right, we're gonna be okay.
And like certain houses, like have an energy to them.
Oh, well, houses are storehouses for energy. Just living in a house, the energy that you give off just by having emotions in it leaves stains.
Residue.
So when it comes to like paranormal stuff, I kind of have a belief that ghosts are echoes of energy from the past.
Sort of a recording of something that's no longer there.
Something was so, like the emotional energy was so strong at that time that it left an imprint on that location. Not necessarily in like an entire place, but on like a specific place. Like I saw this one show of some kind of ghost hunters that were in the UK. they went into this house, and the bar area was fine, but they went up to the second floor, and at the landing, there was just this oppressive presence that wasn't felt anywhere else in the house. And if you stood there long enough, you would feel something moving. Just like the energy was just so laden in that area that you could feel it just by walking by. You walk past it, you don't even feel it anymore. Then you went to another room where they said that they felt like there was a vortex in the wall. Like a place where
Like some
the energy
Twilight
was
Zone.
coming out of. So like, if you put enough energy out there, you can create a portal.
Do you think some areas, we were talking about the veil before, do you think some areas are the barrier is lesser
Yeah,
between us and whatever else?
yeah. But it could be worn down too,
Um,
with enough willpower.
So connection is easier in certain locations, you think?
Yeah, just
And
like
do you
your
think-
cell phone.
Okay. So why do you think that is?
Because some places haven't had an imprint of emotional energy,
So it
so it's
comes
still clean.
from human activity in a place.
Yeah, that's my personal opinion on it.
Okay.
Is that hauntings have to be in a location where something happened. That's why when you go to battlefields and such, you have so much emotional energy because so many people died on that spot. Their last thoughts were being projected into the soup. It makes an imprint right there.
Okay. Interesting.
Like that house I was talking about, in that landing area, there seemed to be a male French soldier. And when they were going with their voice box things, it was French that was coming out of the box. In other places, it was British English. But in this one spot, it was a French soldier. He was talking in vernacular that was specific for French soldiers at the time during the French Revolutionary War.
Okay.
They were staying at that inn.
It is hard to hide from the gendarme. No,
Yo.
I am lost now.
Weird stuff.
So me and you have talked extensively about our experiences with what you might call the supernatural.
Yo.
We talked about our mutual friend Payman and other stuff.
Yo.
I'm curious, Rick, do you have any stories that you would consider supernatural or cannot sum up with like rationality?
Yes, I only have one, and I still don't know if I believe it because, of course, it's an ancient story now. But I distinctly remember going to stay with a friend of mine who at their grandmother's house, which was notoriously haunted, and all the family had reported like the bouncing ball of light down the stairs and all that shit. And we were in the guest room within like a pair of twin beds. He was asleep in the other bed, and I remember distinctly like the sheets going like somebody yanked him, right from the edge of the bed. And I woke up, I was like, Kevin, man, quit fucking around it or whatever, and I pulled him back up. And I remember they got pulled again, like, but not all the way off, but like halfway off. And I was like, Kevin, fucking knock it off. And Kevin laid over in the bed and was like, what are you talking about, dude? And I still have no explanation for that. I have no idea. I'm sure it might have been like a waking weird dream moment thing, but I remember distinctly even that detail, like I said, like the first time, like the sheets were yanked all the way off. I pulled them up, and then they went like halfway down, like somebody was like at the edge of the bed screwing with it. And I was 100% sure that it was him because he'd been telling me stories about the house all day. But I was like, what are you doing? He looked up like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh my God. It was a pretty wicked good 30-40 minutes before I got back to sleep. Yeah, that's the only one I've ever had though that I can really speak to with, and like I said, I who knows, I might be misremembering, but it feels very real.
Yeah,
Feel very real at the time.
that's crazy.
Anybody else? Any ghost stories?
Oh, I saw a dude in a closet once. And I'll never go in that room ever again. I walked in there, and I saw him in the closet. He was looking at me. Mind you, this was a person person that I knew was dead.
Mm.
And it was the room that he died in.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So he was in the closet just looking.
Mm.
And I was like, nope. Turned around, walked out, went, kind of peeked in, wasn't there.
That's spooky.
I don't know what happened to him since that time.
That's a spooky story.
Yo.
So, I know you're friends with Bigfoot.
Kind of.
Associated with.
We have a strained relationship.
What's he like? Because there's a
Tenuous
lot of mixed
dick
information, and I wish we could have more podcasts so we clear the air himself. But since you're here and you're at least acquainted with him to some degree, why don't you destroy some of those misconceptions about Bigfoot?
I mean, I don't mean to be a dick, but all those misconceptions are true. Like,
those are conceptions, I guess.
they are conceptions.
Yeah.
They were born out of
Conceived,
truth.
maybe? I'm not sure.
Okay.
So, Bigfoot, he is a monster, first off. He's a cryptid. He lives in the forest, and he, well, you know what they say about big feet?
Big
Well,
socks.
it's retractable.
Yeah.
It's retractable.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Retractable?
retractable. It goes up into his body.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that is because he has to run away fast. If he always kept it out, he'd be running.
Okay.
So like
Gotcha.
literally his phallus is like already like, maybe a foot behind.
Would you
already
say he's
ready
a tripod?
Okay, so to quote
Kickstand.
Austin Powers, so baby's arm grasping an apple is not a baby's arm. This is more like a
Yeti's arm.
football player teenager's arm.
Oh my. Oh geez.
Jacked.
Monster. Jeez.
Okay.
Yo,
So we've got width and length here.
yo.
That's good to
So
know
what
he's
is-
well endowed, I guess.
So if he's
Nice.
Bigfoot, what do you think? What do you think Bigfoot affectionately refers to as phallus at?
Ooh, oh.
Okay,
He doesn't
Yeah,
speak
probably.
English.
probably something like that.
His keyboard etiquette sucks.
Ooh-ah is actually slang for MacGyver. That's what he actually called it, because he's got the right tool for the
Because
job
he
every
straps
time.
it on?
No, not at all. No.
Being a cryptid, do you know where Bigfoot's origins come from? Like him being a cryptid?
Well, I mean, myths go back as far as people were afraid of the dark. They see something in the woods and they think automatically it is scary.
In that case, it just happens to be true.
Yes, in this case, Bigfoot will grab you, he will eat your face.
Oh, he's a violent?
He goes straight
Or
for
No,
your
he
face.
they're
is.
violent? Oh, he
He
is. Okay.
threatened me.
That's right,
Yeah, okay, look, I've already told this story once today, I'm going to tell it again. So, you know how I have that sweater that has Bigfoot on it?
Right, yes.
Okay, so I wear that because I like it. It's warm. It feels good. It makes me look like an old man. And, well, Bigfoot saw it because we're friends on Instagram. And he said, you need to stop wearing that because that's my kind. So, I'm respecting him.
I was like, fine, I'll stop repping your merch then.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
He doesn't like me. I try to like him. He doesn't like me.
Did you try to explain to him you're just trying to help his brand? Like,
Yeah.
probably needs a good 2020 reboot.
Yeah,
you know?
like,
But I
man,
mean,
you've had a
from
lot
what
of bad PR,
From what
man.
I've seen
Right, I
of
know.
Bigfoot on Instagram, to be honest, he's hanging out on some yachts
Mm.
with bikinis.
He's flexing.
and
I
such.
see him play saxophone sometimes.
I've seen that guy.
Is that right?
I've seen that guy.
No,
But
legit
I
though,
wish
right?
people would share my stuff the way that they share that guy.
Yeah, but yeah.
I'm jealous of that guy.
Oh, look, a lightning bug came to see us.
Oh,
Hi, everybody.
you know who else I'm jealous of?
What's that?
Dolly Parton.
Why is that?
Because she said she was gonna do story time.
Yeah.
And everyone lost their freaking
Oh,
mind.
that's right. Yes, yeah.
Yo,
Yeah, I bet.
Meanwhile,
I do
Scufflemoss has
story
been
time.
hustling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if you all want a story so bad, you gotta search a little harder.
Yeah.
Maybe you could do a collab with Dolly Parton. Story time.
I wouldn't be able to fit in the screen.
Fair enough. So, hard segue. Scufflemoss, how desperate would you have to be before you ate a human corpse?
Like, just cannibalism? It wouldn't be cannibalism
No, it wouldn't
for
be
me, because I'm a different species.
So I wonder if you have different ethics on such things. It's already dead. Say the person's already dead.
Well,
How long would you wait?
If you're in a survival situation, I would say donor party of 5. But if it's just like, oh, I want to summon demons, so I'm going to eat this child that I kidnapped from the playground. No.
Yeah, no necromancy.
No.
So, okay, so not out of, you would only do it out of necessity, what you're saying.
If I had to.
Yeah.
I mean, chances are I'd just be like, yo, just eat me.
But I mean, if it's already a dead person, you're stuck on a mountain somewhere and you're starving to death, absolutely. Right?
Yeah. I mean,
what part would you eat first?
But I would offer myself first. What would I eat first? To be honest, because I've had to think about this.
It's something we've all thought about.
We've all thought about it. Now, let's go over the anatomy of a human being. A lot of people would say that there's a lot of good meats in the face.
Okay.
There's tasty meats in the face.
Would they say that?
The cheek, cheek is actually it's fatty, and it's got some meat in it. So it's gonna make a really tasty, flavorful thing. Also the tongue. But also, I would go for the thigh.
I was gonna say like the haunch, like the back of the leg, or like upper or lower ass.
I wonder if it'd be like tough though.
I would say calf, thigh.
It doesn't matter if you're starving on,
I don't think I would eat breast meat. I would try ribs because I mean it is long pig. I love barbecue. But I mean as far as like, that's what I would do. But I wouldn't eat anyone. I would not eat anyone, especially not their brain. I'm not Hannibal Lecter. I'm not gonna stand there and have you for dinner while you're sitting at dinner and I'm there picking your brain and cooking it and then feeding it to you. Not gonna do that because heck, I don't want to eat anyone.
Sorry about
I'm
your
on a
bad
keto
luck.
diet.
Sorry about your bad luck, Ray Liotta.
Even though human would be considered, for the keto diet, because really all you have to do is eat protein and fat.
Yeah, especially Americans. You'd be well suited.
Oh yeah,
to grab one of us.
You could take some cheek.
I think it's like beer and
really
Cheetos.
Put a little bit of cheese on there for fat.
How long have you been on keto?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks. I've noticed a difference.
I did keto
today,
for a little bit.
Yeah, today I've not eaten a lot, but I have a lot of energy. I should be passed out by now. First off, it's past my bedtime.
No,
I'm an old fart. Secondly, I haven't eaten very much time today.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty tired myself. We'll probably wrap it up here in a minute.
Yeah.
Probably be good at it.
Yeah. Rick, how desperate would you have to be to eat a corpse?
Oh, not very. No, I mean, of course it was
dead.
Yeah, like I mean, that's exactly how I picture it. Is like, okay, we're, if it's a shipwreck or something like that, and we wash up on shore, and I'm like, gee, there are no coconuts here. I'm gonna have to eat this person. I'm probably gonna dip in pretty quick. But then, there's always like the consideration of like, does your rescue team show up like as you're like with the bib on?
Sorry, guys.
Whoops! Oh my God! Hey, I actually caught a deer.
Whoops.
I caught a deer. Greg, I have no idea. Where he went.
This island is full of swine.
Yeah.
I got one.
Pygmies. They came out with a conch shell. Took him. I mean, I don't even know what
I got the roasted butt right here.
Yeah. David.
You guys hungry?
Same question for you because I feel like it's a different question for you.
Would you eat a corpse?
David hasn't had any meat in how long?
It's been a few years.
Oh, good for you, man. That's great.
That's good.
So
I
it would
wish
be
I
a
was strong
very,
enough to do it.
So that,
very difficult thing for you to eat a corpse, I imagine.
that makes me think, would you view it as unethical if a person naturally passed for someone to consume them if they signed something saying that was allowed?
I would
Would,
not.
would that
I'd
be,
have no hesitation.
would you view it as unethical for someone else to do it
No,
if it wasn't for necessity?
I don't think it's a choice that I would make, but I wouldn't. I don't
As long as they're
think I'd be
dying of
judgy
natural
about
causes, I think it's fine.
it. Right. Yeah.
There's no victim there.
Okay.
But,
There's no victim.
Everybody knows what they're getting.
but with natural, the problem with dying of natural causes could be that you could be consuming something that you didn't know was there, which is what got us into this pandemic in the first place.
So maybe
Can't
there
believe-
are victims.
Yeah, there are.
Hmm.
We,
So maybe we shouldn't go around like legalizing cannibalism or anything.
Probably not yet.
no, no, I wouldn't recommend.
I think if we
legalizing
keep things up,
cannibalism.
we probably won't have to legalize it. It might just become status quo.
I know part of your campaign
Sweet green.
has been obviously, birds are fake. They're not real.
Yeah,
I think you need to add cannibalism to sort of your regimen.
oh, I'm not running for president anymore.
No,
Oh,
No, it's a fool's game.
that's true.
brain's not made of applesauce. You'd probably do better than Joe Biden.
Oh.
Oops. Oops. I'm sorry.
Touching on that briefly right before we go,
Yeah.
I haven't seen I have seen more conservatives against Trump and more liberals against Biden as we approach this
I
election.
know. It's like, who's fucking voting for
no
who?
one's gonna vote for anyone.
No,
It's gonna be
No.
like the worst turnout ever.
I know. It's like, it's going to be like, well, your cat is the president. Well, fuck who? I guess just by default.
well,
Nobody can vote for
Idlewild
anybody.
has a golden retriever for mayor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So-
I saw
You
that.
know, I want to see an animal president. I think it would actually be an interesting experiment.
I would argue that we may already have one, but I would go further to say that, frankly, I mean, he hosted The Apprentice and now is the president of the United States. So really, the bar set pretty low. Like,
Bar's
frankly,
pretty fucking low.
I mean, how
Well,
well,
okay,
how
so-
good are you? Have you made it to shift manager at McDonald's?
The bar is
Probably
set.
run for the fucking president.
The bar is so low, but yet anyone who's qualified
Qualified.
has a really hard time getting in now.
Well, there's always it. The money.
Ronald Reagan got elected president.
Campaign
because
reform.
He was an actor who acted with chimpanzees. One of those chimpanzees became Donald Trump.
Fact.
Yes, I
So
would.
that's how he got in. It was sponsorship.
I believe
Right.
that.
He was sponsored by the Ronald Reagan Kill All the Birds initiative.
And that's not fake news.
That's right.
No.
It's real news.
That's right.
No,
You get your
Thank
real
you
news.
so much
you
for
heard it
tuning
here
in.
not
We've
gonna
been
tweet about
CNN.
it because I don't tweet.
You heard it
I
here
really
first,
don't like
folks.
tweeting. Twitter is another website that I don't care about. It's really hard to do anything on it.
Oh,
And honestly, it sucks.
have you played Nier?
I have not.
You're familiar with it.
I'm familiar with the artwork.
I am.
Yeah.
I am friends on Twitter with the director of that
Oh,
game,
the dude with the
Because I-
crazy.
Yoko Taro. Yeah,
Yeah, that dude.
because back in like 2017, I tweeted Final Fantasy 16 by @Yoko Taro,
Oh, cool. Yeah.
and he retweeted it
Neat. Yeah.
and liked it, and then followed me.
Nice.
So I was like, holy shit. Because I'm a huge fan of his. He's a huge inspiration to me. Like one of the biggest. And what sucks is I never use my Twitter. Ever. If he had done that, if he'd like followed me on Facebook or Instagram or something where I actually post my content, I would have lost it. I still lost it.
Sure.
But yeah, I nerded out really hard, and I thought you'd appreciate that since you're familiar with Nier a little bit. David, you weaseled out of my question.
Say what?
You weaseled out of my question.
Yeah.
If you were starving to death, would you eat a corpse? There's nothing ethically wrong with it, David. You have to survive. Your life has value.
You're swaying him already.
Also, give me one of those cigarettes, please.
And by the way,
You know about cigarettes, at least. Let's talk about
if he
cigarettes.
smokes too many, then he dies, and we get to
Oh.
eat.
Oh, hey.
I know you wouldn't
Lose
enjoy
track
it,
around.
but would you do it if you had to survive?
I'd say I'd have to be in the situation to really say.
You can't answer it. All right, it's a fair enough answer. I'm willing to accept that. You really can't answer on it unless you're in that situation. Fair enough. So
Initiate crash landing. Oh shit!
I mean, I know logically they're just dead, and if it's something that could bring you a little further, but I don't know if that rationality would equate to me actually doing it or not.
right, it's sort of a hard thing to answer unless you're in that situation. You think right now though, you think you would make an effort to resist not doing that? Like you think he would try and...
It's situational. I imagine if I'm on the brink of having to eat a person to survive, I'm not going to be thinking.
Because the reason I'm asking...
Pretty low on the list of priorities, right?
The reason I'm asking is because we all three answered that, I mean, yeah, it might be uncomfortable, but we would do it to survive. So you're not really sure if you would do it to survive or not.
We talked about the exact parts that we would eat.
Yeah.
My only hang up literally is just like that I know the second I decided to do it, the rescue team would show up and I'd be like literally with the bib.
Well,
Have you seen The Mist?
No, I haven't, no.
Okay, so I could probably...
think I would eat the genitals.
I want to spoil this movie because it's a horrible movie anyway.
You skip 10 minutes forward if you want to watch The Mist, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
The Mist with Mark Wahlberg.
Oh fuck! I think I did see this.
I think
film.
that was a new one. I don't think it had Mark Wahlberg.
It must be.
Is this a Stephen King?
I forget. It's
The one
basically
with the bugs.
with the bugs.
What's
I
the
think.
premise
There was
of
like
it?
alien bugs or something.
Yeah, there were
like that.
alien bugs coming out of the meat.
Yeah.
Who's
And
in
they were
this?
holed up in a grocery store.
Yeah, I like that film. I watched
So-
it like 3 times.
I hate the ending.
It does suck.
Yeah.
Spoil this movie now. I'm interested.
Yeah, I know.
It's alright. I mean,
It's a good
it's
film
good to
other than that.
experience things. It's not the greatest movie in the world, but it's great to watch to pass the time
So
because you have nothing else to watch.
why'd you bring it up?
Well, basically, what you said reminded me of that. Like the guys are gonna show up and rescue you right when you're eating.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
At the ending of The Mist, he takes his kid and I think this lady out with him and ventures off into the mist, gets into his car and drives away. And it's mist everywhere. He sees all the aliens closing in, and he's only got 2 bullets left.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
He
Yeah.
shoots his kid and then shoots the lady. He doesn't have any for himself. And then right after that, the army comes in and saves him.
Breaks to the other side or whatever.
They just walk past
man.
him.
Yeah.
They don't even acknowledge him. They just walk past him.
I'm gonna argue.
So he's standing there like, I just killed my kid.
First of
Oh,
all, I'm
shit.
thankful I didn't watch
Yeah.
that movie. But second of all, I fucking love that ending. That's awesome.
That's
I love
pretty
that.
badass.
That's really cool. I think I would be like, yes, that's great. You
You'd
know,
almost think
Weird,
Edward
but, I mean,
Shyamalan.
awkward and
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
What a
but I like it.
twist!
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig it.
And I think Dead Children is a great way to
I'm
end
gonna
this
watch
podcast.
this terrible movie. Yeah, let's kill
Oh.
some kids and take some drugs. And...
Jeez, Alex.
We were just talking about cannibalism,
Yeah.
and now we're talking about dead
So
children.
would you have baby back ribs?
Damn. All right. Well, we got to end on baby back ribs.
That's right.
I want my baby
Closer.
back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back.
Children.
Cannibalism is fine as long as it's a baby.
Oh dear.
Rick,
So,
what are we gonna do about you?
thank you guys for joining me on
Thank
this
you so
adventure.
much for
Thanks
having
for
me,
having
Alex.
me here.
Yeah, caretaker's house. This
Yeah.
is Zopi's tree house.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Nice pad he's got here.
It's a nice setup, yeah. I don't see any little bits of wooden stuff, but
He's pretty handy. He wouldn't make if it made a nest. It would look kind of like this. What do you think?
we covered a lot of ground.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't
But
know
we
if
didn't
all of it
move
needed
at
to be
all.
covered, but I'm glad we did.
Well, it was nice talking to you guys, and if you want to do this again sometime, I'd love to do it.
Likewise.
Yeah,
No,
sure.
thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It was really fun. Thank you for showing me cars, fucking cars.
Yeah, anytime, man.
Wow.
Well, everyone have a good night.
Cheers.
Thanks
Yeah.
for sticking around with us this weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Stay safe. Wear a mask. Goddammit.
Yeah.
So keep on scuffling.
Keep on
Thank you.
scuffling.
Stay
Wear a
safe.
mask.
Stay healthy.